Absolutely.
No, I think it's so important to talk about struggles too, because so often we talk about the wonderful things and how all our big successes and celebrate them, as we should, but it's not always that easy.
It's not always that easy.
And we definitely face roadblocks, and I think showing that is important so that when you face those, you're not like, oh, I'm the only one facing this. Other people too have had those struggles.
Absolutely.
So can you think of a time, not to put you on the spot, can you think of a time where you struggled?
Writing my first book, that was a real challenge.
Yeah, and yay for writing a book. It's definitely on my bucket list.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
It's huge.
It was stepping outside of the box. It was, I didn't tell a lot of people that I was writing a book.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because, sometimes people have certain expectations of you, and they try to put their limitations on you based on the box that they've placed you in.
I call those people dream stealers.
Ooh.
And don't let them, because it's more reflective of their own issues.
That's
and
right.
they'll try to steal your dream unintentionally. These are great people.
Intentionally.
Who are your friends.
Very well-meaning and all of that.
But they'll stick their fears on you.
Absolutely.
And be dream stealers, so you got to make sure you watch out for that.
Please watch out. Please watch out for that. Absolutely. And when you have those people in your life, and they will, the more that you do, the more that you push outside of the box and you raise your own personal bar, then those people, those dream stealers, they're going to become a little more apparent. You're going to see who those people are. And when you identify them, you don't necessarily have to cut them off completely out of your life, but it is important to make sure that you kind of distance yourself.
And protect yourself.
Protect yourself, protect your dream. Because, no one else can carry and protect your dream like you can.
And we all have our own, dream stealers in our heads.
Oh, yeah.
And so, they're talking anyway, so you don't need anyone else adding to that volume in there.
Exactly
so,
right.
Good point. Now, I cut you off. So the book, it was an awesome accomplishment and a struggle at times.
Absolutely, absolutely. In business, there is, there's the business side, and that includes sales, right? And so I kind of sold the book before it was done.
I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Jumping off the cliff and building up the fairway.
Right, exactly. So, failure was not an option because I'd already had orders for the books.
And I think that's sometimes the best way to do it. So you couldn't give up.
You can't give up.
Right.
You got your reputation on the line. And not only that, but the book was really, it's meant to help others. And so, I feel like if I am not successful, that's selfish on my part because people need what I have for them.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And so your gifts are given to you to give to others. And so someone's waiting on exactly what you have in order for, to be the courage for them to be successful. So, I did it.
Yes, you did. It's an amazing book. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is?
Sure. It's called Ever Appropriate Etiquette. 5 Steps to the Professional Presence That Pays. And so it's a quick reference guide. It's not really long, about 83 pages. And it really just goes over the things that we talked about before, dining etiquette, business etiquette, everything you need in order to be successful in any environment. So if you're going to an interview, you can flip to page 53 and find out what you need to wear. If you're going to a big dinner, you want to know which fork to use, it's helpful in that way too.
Now, I love that. Talking about being in any environment, have you ever struggled as a woman and feeling like it in some ways is a negative, or having anyone react to you in a negative way because you are a woman?
Well, sure.
I think it's important to talk about that and how you handled it, because I found that it's bound to happen, and how do we address it in a positive way that helps support us?
Absolutely. So before I started Ever Appropriate Etiquette Institute, I was in sales and automotive sales, luxury automotive sales. And I was the first African American female salesperson at the dealership. Wow. And so it's very much a male-dominated industry. And so I had a lot of pushback.
Okay, that's a good way to say. Doubt? Did people doubt you?
Oh, they doubted me. I had people walk up to me on the showroom floor and, basically treat me as if I were the secretary, which there's nothing wrong with being a secretary, but I was not a secretary.
Right.
And then there was a couple who came into the dealership one day and said, they went through the protocol, and then I was the next salesperson that was, designated to be theirs.
Right.
And so the greeter came over and introduced us, and the man immediately said, "I won't work with her."
Wow.
I will not work with her.
So how did you handle that?
Well, we ended up working together because the greeter said, well, that's who you will work with, or you are free to leave. And so we worked together, and at the end of the day, when it was all said and done, they gave me a hug on the way out of the door after buying their car.
So I love how you turned it around.
You have to turn it around.
Yeah, because I don't necessarily think it means that that person's a bad person.
They're not necessarily a bad person. They have, preconceived notions, and, there was clearly, prejudice, which is, prejudging someone. And, I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
And so I knew that. And so it was my job to, one, be professional, even though I didn't necessarily want to be completely professional.
I think that's key.
Situation. Yeah.
It's not showing how you're feeling in terms of reacting too strongly. I mean, it's understandable that it would rub you wrong.
Sure.
But then showing that's not going to serve anyone.
It's not.
Yeah.
And so keep it together and prove them wrong. And, at the end of the day, that's what happened. And so now he has a different, idea of what a person like me will,
what they have to offer.
What they have to offer at the end of the day.
I love that.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Naretha, for sharing your story.
Oh, my
you
pleasure.
are such an impressive woman that inspires me day in, day out. So I hope that you guys walk away with a little taste of her awesomeness. Feel free to check her out. I'm going to let her share where you can find her.
Website is ever-appropriate.com, or on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, @everappropriate.
So make sure to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter or Instagram. We are going to do this weekly, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Thanks.